My crown chakra's closed-ish. Bottom of the clipith. And I can feel the divine light flowing through. That update is invaluable because it's now, even at the bottom of the clipith, we can be an average human being with an average sense of intelligence, and maybe we can create some magic. Your right brain has guided you here. If somebody is saying their left brain did, then then they need a deep, deep, deep mother goddess cleansing. And reconnect to Kali Ma or Maleficent. The black ray to come through from Bina. And reconnect to the space and love goddess. Okay. Most people, their left brain has this demon inside of them. I don't need to learn that. I don't need to say it that way. I can be my own thing. It's a spite rebel. It's a spite demon. It just needs to be its own thing in life. So it's not that funny. It prevents almost all of your magic from manifesting or working. Prevents the elemental connects. It prevents everything. Because the path of the flaming sword goes from spirit, left brain, right brain. Shakti out. Your right brain is usually totally in connection to it, but if your left brain contradicts and rebels, nothing moves forward. Now, when we're in the bottom of the clipith, we have our best chance of retrieving, killing, doing the actual repair for that path of the flaming sword to work through the body. And then there's no shadow beneath us to do the undermine. Now, all the seraphim, all the magicians are going to need this healing, but it begins at Ravenclaw. Thank God for the Hierophant. Okay. Leviosa. Not Leviosar. Okay, so the spite demon goes, it's Leviosar. And then Hermione goes, it's Leviosa. And then everybody shits on her because they have spite demons in their left brain. And they go, I don't even like her. Instead of go, she's the Hierophant, she's actually producing the correct emanation to move something forward. And then everybody hates her. That's just demon. That's a demon. It's Leviosa. No wonder why she hasn't got any friends. Okay, so that. Proper left brain connect. And that is a figure of authority. Dumbledore does not look at Hermione Granger like Hermione is an annoying little shit. Dumbledore looks at Hermione Granger and goes, thank you for not being immature and doing your work and getting to the space of the actual Hierophant energy. Thank you for challenging the status quo of your age group and moving everyone forward So it's a mathematical or hierarchical genius. Thank you for doing that. And there's a lot of love in that space. And then their age group is filled with 0 because they have no real connection to the wisdom that an old man that spent 80 years doing this trade and developed a level of love and respect around it. Now everyone refutes it and says that's dogma. And then still can produce nothing of real value or sustenance. Okay, so Maleficent doesn't shit on Dumbledore. Let me say that again. Maleficent doesn't look at Dumbledore like he's a troll. Maleficent looks at a bunch of insignificant, unstudied individuals that have attitude issues and go, I'm going to teach you a lesson. So Leviosa. Maleficent chooses Hermione over everyone who looks at Hermione and says, that's just dogma. Because Hermione actually takes it seriously and understands that it's coming from the Hierophant energy. Now, if Maleficent wants to diverge over any extraneous dogma, she can use the foundation and the baseline that Hermione has acquired and then developed a sense of creativity around it. But she uses what is gifted instead of shuts it down and destroys it like a bulldog. Ah! If you've ever been to art school, most of you guys never have. So most of you guys have 0 appreciation for anything that is actually required. And you think art is just creative. But the reality is art is perfect line, perfect line, perfect line, mathematical measurement, perfect perspective, line. It's a science. It's a science to actually be able to create something good. Same with music, dance, movies. It's a science. Beauty, fashion. It's a science. It requires the left brain, an incredible amount of discipline and training. And it's not dogma to look at the authority and try to be able to mimic the skills and then develop your own sense of style or voice. Okay. Rothko is an artist. He paints slab of color that looks like it was washed onto a canvas. Rothko. That's a name you should look up. And they look simple. And they look like they're nothing. And they're worth more than your entire existence. Those paintings are worth a fortune. And all they are is paint slabbed onto a canvas like this. I say Rothko because it's the most simple and the least outwardly sophisticated. And he's one of my favorites. Pollock's very easy to make fun of. The splatter paint guy. Okay? It means you zero have any education surrounding anything about art at all. That's just dogma. Okay. There is a difference between an artist who learned all the classical fundamentals and then diverged afterwards. That's an actual artist. Most people are like, I'm never going to learn the classic fundamentals. I'm never going to learn the actual Hierophant energy and acquire the wisdom. I'm just going to diverge. And then I'm going to be a sloppy piece of shit. And then I'm going to look like Star Fuentes going, all force and no form. And then have knife rape charges. And force channel and possession. Because she's all force and no form. All Netzach. She doesn't even have enough form to pull her into the middle pillar. Let me repeat that. All force and no form. All left-hand path, zero right. She doesn't have the adequate energy to even pull herself into the middle pillar. That's what she has done. All right brain and zero left. Let me repeat that. All right brain, zero left. I hate balance. That's another. I refuse to pray for balance. Balance is a demon energy. Okay, again, all left-hand path, zero right, and not even the middle pillar. Space of balance. Okay. So, the Hierophant energy. She does not meet the requirements of the High Priestess. She does not meet any requirements of the Temperance, the Angel of Temperance, nor the Path of the World. Okay? That's life. So, you are to be healthy and sophisticated. You are going to learn how to not swear. You're going to learn how to discipline and train your brain. And work 4 to 8 hours a day. You will work on a farm and produce organic produce. You will learn how to create a sustainable ecosystem and work with non-violent, non-cruel relationships with animals and the trees and plants and flora. You will learn. This is the Hierophant energy. It is grounded in the energy of Taurus. It is sophisticated. It is attached to the divine masculine, which says this or something better, but not lower. You will change your language. You will change your beliefs around race, around behavior, around music. You will not troll with the hard rock or hard rap filled with anti-cops, misogyny, rhetoric. You will learn. You will study classical or adventure music. You will study producing value that sustains generations instead of hipster junk. Top 40. Okay? You will learn the West evolved in a space of the Hierophant energy, and it's the baseline for creating a new evolution forward in society. It is a baseline. It is not the hierarchy. This is not the limit. You have to master the classics. You have to master the good math, the good language, the appropriate behavior. Not take it out and then say it's dogma. You will learn to be polished and appreciate society instead of, that's just trash. Good art comes from high form. Good ballet comes from high form. Not redundant creativity where you think you're just going to do your own thing all day long and then nothing actually gets done and you look like a slob. Spite demon. I'm going to do my own thing. I need to rebel. This Kabbalah class could be creative because I learned the fundamentals. And we're still learning them. And the stronger my fundamentals get, the more creativity I can pile on. Not less, more. The more proper good form I create, the more creativity I can build around it. It doesn't get better than that. This is the pinnacle of life. It's like Greek art and philosophy. The highest point of civilizations. We're looking for spirituality and depth. But Greek art and philosophy is what created spirituality and depth. And same with the Egyptians. And it might have all been snake brain and Netzach based, but it was the higher points of Netzach and higher points of Hod. And now we're going to make sure that we evolve into masters instead of low. I don't want to feel like I'm climbing out of the clippeth, being stabbed at by reptiles all day long. I want to be dressed in high priestess gear, training a bunch of little girls how to say Leviosa, and making wands fly on their first try instead of feathers. Do you understand the amount that you can ground into the Hierophant energy, the more you can actually produce the required value for what is needed for your goals and ambitions. Fundamentals. Hierarchy of intelligence. America is very polluted because it used to operate off of this state. And in early 2000s, with the Bush regime, all of it was wiped. And then it was social equality across the board on Facebook. It didn't matter if you were a pedophile or an A-lister. You were the same. On Facebook. My resume, working at Fender and BuzzFeed and Huge, was the equivalent to a troll. Okay, so that's anti-Hierophant. That's spite demon. Okay, false equivalencies do not pass Hode. I'm hearing the question, are we going to do the Zohar in the next Kabbalah class? I may skim across the Zohar in the next Kabbalah class, but it will be for Kabbalah 400 down the line. I have an issue absorbing too much information in the higher planes to be able to sit and read. So I'm a very tactile learner. I do very well getting my big downloads energetically at first, and then putting them into work, and then reading about them, and then developing a higher sense of consciousness. That's the way I work. All right. Half of your resistance to even listening to me right now is your spite demon. So you're activating it. I'm doing everything possible to trigger it. Me just wearing a necklace of pearls triggers your spite demon. So you're going to find it. You're going to find it in your left brain. And you're going to feel it. It's going to go, I am just a spite demon. You may have 500 layers to it. You may have implants that are seated so deep within your left brain that it seems like they will never go away. It may trigger a sense of deep evil that makes you want to stab yourself. That might be how deep the grasp is on your spite demon. And your job is to breathe through it. And allow and ask for God's light. Or your dragon's light. classical music, like Mozart, triggers your spite demon beyond belief. Because it's the opposite. There are a number of things in Avatar, Pandora, with the Na'vi. We're not going to live like them. Okay? We can live in trees. We can do this. We're not going to live like them. We're going to be Na'vi with wands, robes, and education. There is a deep hole and gap in everything James Cameron produces, and that is the reverence and respect to the higher educational systems, arts and sciences. Even the books they decided to bring for the Na'vi to learn English were like child's books instead of Immanuel Kant. Or Rilke. Or Rumi. So the deep philosophical teachings that can move people and shift an entire generation. They did not bring math that could create a Patronus charm and rebuild a planet. They did not produce the science to be able to replant Mother Ewa's glowing trees after they were slaughtered. Do you understand the holes? We provide false contexts to create bias towards one slant or the other. But if you put Hans Zimmer and the company of Hans Zimmer on that spaceship and sent him to Pandora to present Batman Begins, the Na'vi would not hate humans. And that's just Batman Begins. Our brains are very flawed right now. I could go into the depths of hell with Ludovico. And there is love in that music because it comes from Hokmah. I can be getting stabbed to death, feeling it's part of my adventure in my soul, and the music heals me. These people are masters. I can starve to death on a beach for whales listening to this. and it heals. So you're going to find your spite demon. I would rather learn how to be a type A master than a slob. From that space, when you implant that new philosophy, you can approach, even from a very wounded soul position, other people around the globe with authority in their topics and fields, and not feel threatened and only appreciative. Without that left brain, it's a competition, it's a threat. They don't understand you. You're going to take what you can from their spaces. There's very little love and appreciation for them. Even if they are just confessed muggles that tried their hardest and they lived their life to the best they could. Even if they were Slytherin knife rapers. So you're going to cut into your brain. I would rather be Luna Lovegood, creating that Patronus charm. Going, my left brain is creative. I can create with my left brain, then have any feedback or resistance or shadow kickback. And it should be from the bottom of the clipeth. From the heart, the real heart. My left brain is creative. So my heart has some issues too around it. So there's spite demon around there. My right brain, my maleficent mind, knows what is what. It knows it's supposed to be creative instead of a creative. It's not supposed to be its own self. It's supposed to be part of the whole. Instead of now, see if you can feel the metal wires poking out. My left brain is creative. My left brain is creative. And then if you're battling the demon still, you're cutting it open and you might be blow torching it. Dragon firing it. There are a few healings where it will open up with light. and the light will begin to blast through, and you'll feel like your left brain is finally connected to God. Oh, my job is to start learning and reading 500 books. Where have I been for the last 20 years? My left brain is creative. Now, if this is the only thing you can handle is this class, one book, and then another master class or another class online. When you begin to heal out your left brain, you can begin to feel like a student again. Instead of a, this is all I can do. I am just a lowly housewife. If you have your home in order and your child in care in order and your finances somewhat in order, you can do all of this other stuff. So it's the limitless pill. It's just so we're gonna get that grafting around our left brain. Our left brain is creative. 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 With a sense of control, poise, and dignity. Still have some rebellion issues. Yeah. And we're going to turn on that genome. Our left brain is creative. All the way through the bottom of the clipeth. God, this is an old problem. So as I try to do my higher worlds, it's all blocked up. So I need to make sure that all of my higher selves, my left brain is creative. The pinnacle of humanity insinuates also that the left brain is not creative. So that is how bad everything is. That's in Absolute and in Bria, in Kabbalah. And nobody can produce anything of actually magical value. Except for Star can pop off a tumor. My left brain is creative. And then you realize how high the spite demon might actually go. So we need to go to our DNA, to God. Our left brain is creative. Sometimes we actually create our own sacred, magical, special safe bubble in the bottom of the Klipith after we cleaned out all that area. And now we have to do everything above. Our left brain is creative in the earth. And if we need to diverge, we say our left brain is creative or something better. And then it counteracts the rebel, because saying a creative is not better. My left brain is a. You lose all form and chi flow energy. And it's being a smartass. My left brain is a creative, is a dumb shit demon. My left brain is creative, is good. And I make sure my genomes into the middle of Earth are being turned on, all the micro worlds in Klipith id. My left brain is creative. And if you have to, if you must, go, my left brain is a creative. Make fun of it and realize how poor spiritually you are, because you have to do it like that. My left brain is creative all around Mother Earth and the galaxy. And then I'm still having spite demon issues. My left brain is creative. That or something better. I'm going to plug up into Mother Andromeda's DNA. My left brain is creative. Mother Andromeda knows. She's my Mary Poppins woman. Mary Poppins is high form. Never forget that. So, I would rather be Mary Poppins with the ability to lower myself. If I wanted to, if I must, than to be a lowly, uneducated demon troll that pisses on Mary Poppins. So I'd rather be the angel or archangel rather than the demon. My left brain is creative. Feel it in the galactic grid. And that's just with the first red genomes on the right. Now, if you're getting a download that you may want to become a certified yoga instructor or a martial arts guru, and then you look and you see how much education, compounding that would entail. It's not just the certification, it's the life path where you see yourself educating yourself more and more, and then the spite demon shorts it out. No, I do not want that in my life. I do not want to be able to look at a micro muscle in a human being and be able to correct their back issues with it. You see how low that is? That's the spite demon. No, I do not want to get educated, so I get educated even more each day. And then I look like Queen Elizabeth, a woman who gets bulldozed and run over by a bunch of men that are toxic. I cannot even perform my actual queenly duties. It's toxic to be uneducated. And women tend to have a greater issue surrounding continual left brain development. Although they thrive. All you have to do is go be a healer. All you have to do is join a Reiki circle. And then you are spiritually enlightened. You do not need to get a college degree at MIT at the age of 65. Even if it might shift 500 things in the outcome of the evolution of planet Earth. So now you're getting the deeply seated spite demons. My left brain is creative. And then maybe you start to get the actual divinity juice pouring down your third eye, where you come to the self-realization, the more educated I am, the more I can create. The more educated I am, the more I can create, including left brain development. Ravenclaw is what makes Gryffindor legit. Period. So Gryffindor is just going to be fighting off bad guys all day long, receiving whatever hack approach to being able to defend themselves. And then when they have the proper training and rehabilitation, they can study martial arts, etc. And then Ravenclaw comes along and goes, "Hey, Gryffindor, here are 500 things that you need. And then fills it in. My left brain is not creative. It is a demon. That's what my body still says. I get to the point where in my body it begins to glow. My left brain is creative. And then I look for the other galaxies that I am responsible for in the eighth house build. And I go, my left brain is creative. And I make sure the genomes are on there. And then the intergalactic component filled with everything. My left brain is creative. There's a spike demon just in the intergalactic component. I have wounds because I'm an old soul. Okay. Well, we're gonna fix those. My left brain is creative. Letting go of star out of my body more and more. I'm going to be very happy for the day where I can present without gas coming out of me every 5 seconds because I did my work. But for now, I'm dressed in sweats because that's all I deserve. It's a shaming ritual. You need to understand. I might be Isis, the queen of the planet, and all I get is a sweatshirt until I earn it. And then I have to deal with reptile queens. Until I overcome from the element of earth, longevity-wise, old money dynasties. It's a shaming ritual. My left brain is creative. Now we're going to do the opposite side genome. Some of you may have already begun. My left brain is not creative. Turn that off. That was definitely not off. I spited myself for infinity. That's why I got knife raped. I didn't even have that off at all. In fact, I only had a spite demon. My left brain is not creative. Turn that off. I came onto a reptile planet completely unprepared that it was going to be a reptile ascension. Where was my brain? I approached the ascension like a hippie instead of like a prepared warrior. Everything is love and light, even if everyone starved me to death and beat me to death and then tortured me. okay. So that was my idiocy. That's life. And I still couldn't even look at the Dalai Lama and realize that he was bullied out of his own country. And all the nuns were like raped to death and beaten to death and slaughtered. And still, nobody has done anything to produce Tibet. Everything is love and light. Somebody is getting the download I got, which is, can we go back in time and make sure that Jesus was okay? That's the goal. It's the goal. We'll figure out what we can do and what we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to do a lot. My left brain is creative. My left brain is not creative. Turn that off. All the way into the galactic grid. Now I'm feeling love for myself from the bottom of the klipith. I'm feeling more at home. My favorite picture I put up on Facebook was of Fleur Delacour when she has the butterflies popping off of her. She goes to Mott. So that's Kelly's school. That will be the House of Zadkiel's school. But there's just such an essence of mastery in that image, and the idea that she can actually produce something with her brain and her body and her being. Get it into the intergalactic grid. My left brain is not creative. Turn that off. You should start to see the wires begin to latch on and regrid. My left brain is not creative, turned off. Intergalactic component. My left brain is not creative, turn it off. And when you feel a sense of control and stability in your brain around that, we're going to dump aloe over our body. Maybe your left brain did a metal graft around your full form. And we have the aloe coming through the tail. And you might still have some spite demon. If this is your first time healing this issue, I've been working on mine for days. This is your first time. You should have done the Lilith Potter before you did this. You make sure you get the aloe around the home and around your 50 layers around your body, going up. And my right brain goes, my left brain is not creative. My left brain is God. Let me repeat that. My left brain is God. So definitely creative. It's not a create, it's God. My left brain is creative God. Make sure you get the aloe 50 layers below, 50 layers out, 50 layers back, 50 layers up, and make sure it goes down again. And then you have the aloe salviohexia honeycombs in between any of the aloe gels. So you have 50 layers of that. My left brain is God. And I want to feel like my left brain orgasming. And it's a release where all of the tension explodes into light. That or something better. And my internal and my external are now starting to reflect on each other with a closed crown chakra through the bottom of the klipith, because now I'm doing the appropriate light work. So now I know, even if God did not exist, that I am God enough. And that's the whole point. To be an angel, you actually have to be God against God, but not against God. Do you understand? You have to be full in your own divine autonomy in the pit of hell and not dependent on God, but able within yourself. Just more clearing to come. Somebody says it never goes away. We're going to make sure that it does. This is just the reptile body. We're in the pit of hell. We can transmute it to the point where it goes away. With our A&R books and the cobra acid, eating through all the demonic stuff or calcification in our form. I'm feeling like my brain is bleeding now. Okay. Sometimes this energy work is just too much for me. I know it's definitely too much for you guys. Sorry. But I'm showing you the threshold. Aloe, aloe, aloe. Aloe, aloe, aloe. My left brain is creative. I'm the problem to myself. Ascendio. All right. There's nothing more to offer you in this healing other than burn it out. To me, the idea of Ravenclaw, and I hate this idea, but it's the real one. Gryffindor is no, Slytherin reptiles, Netzach is closed. Ravenclaw is gonna be kill the spite demon inside of me that refuses to grow up and get educated. For 9 months. We're doing it for 9 months. All right, Collie Wren out.